one for today. This is an author we haven't had before. They also wrote a couple of stuff. The Great Hippo. This is the first work of it's the first work of theirs that we get to read. The Great Hippo wrote The Laughing Men. And looks like there's a lot down here waiting for us. Alright, Unit C is circa 1963. Object class Euclid, special containment procedures. A fenced circular perimeter with a radius of 15 kilometers has been established around SCP-2419. This perimeter is maintained by MTF Beta 7 masked hatters as private property. Once per day, MTF Beta 7 is to accompany a Foundation technician into Unit C to perform maintenance on one of the 6 incinerators. They are to follow a rotating schedule to ensure each incinerator's furnace is serviced once a week. As of this maintenance, every furnace is to remain lit and operational at all times. Reinforced steel hatches have been welded at top of each incinerator's 3 disposal chutes. These hatches are to remain bolted and locked. Instances of -A found outside of Unit C incinerator are to be immersed in concrete and shipped to an indefinite containment site. Description: SCP-2419 is a refinery and waste disposal facility located 75 kilometers north of Summer Springs, Colorado, USA. It was constructed in 1954 by the Foundation for the purpose of handling the incineration and long-term storage of hazardous wastes, primarily medical waste. A controlled evacuation was carried out in 1975 after it began to exhibit several anomalies. The facility is divided into 3 units. Unit A was responsible for long-term storage of anomalous waste via a deep geological repository. Unit B received shipment of waste and proceeded them. Unit C disposed of non-anomalous waste via incineration. Let me read that again. It's refining waste for disposal. Facility. Okay, instances of -A present as human entities that occur within the interior Unit C's incinerators. They exhibit anomalous regenerative abilities and are incapable of dying, although they typically attempt to exit the incinerators via the disposal chutes. The heat from each incinerator's furnace is sufficient to stop them before they can make significant progress. So they're basically trying to crawl out the incinerator, but since the incinerator has to stay on, they just can't. Oof. That's scary. -A instances do not communicate and lack any sense of self-preservation. Although they appear to have no interest in each other, they show extreme hostility towards any sapient non-instance. So, any of us. And then 1 discovery. Access, so we have incident 1 log. Oh my god. that is metal as hell. Incident log 1. Date of course, 1975, 5th, 21st. Workers propelling Unit C reported streams from inside of all 6 incinerators, ash pits. After a brief investigation, the site director ordered the burners on the incinerator 4 snuffed. Several dozen severely burned entities immediately began to emerge from the incinerator disposal chutes. They attempted to drag Foundation personnel back down into the ash pit with them. I mean, those look like... The site director immediately ordered the on-site MTF team to eliminate all hostile entities. After determining that these entities could regenerate, the site director ordered the MTF team to force them back down the chutes via steam lands. All the furnace burners were relit. The 4th incident was put back into service without further incident. During the incident, the MTF team managed to subdue and capture 5 of these entities. They have been transported off-site for further study. And here we have a nearly incinerated -A instance climbing up one of the incinerator's chutes. That looks so dope. It also looks like it's from a movie, which I wonder if it is. Then we have access interviews. Okay, we have an interview here. Let's see if they hate what they say. Date 1976, 7th 21st, subject -A instance A5, interviewer Dr. Warren. On account of the hostility typically exhibited by -A instance, the interview was conducted behind a ventilated glass wall, and with an armed guard observing. Good morning, number 5. Soft ripping. You know, if you keep picking at your arm, it's never going to heal. Soft ripping continues. We know you can speak. We've recorded you laughing. Why won't you speak to us? Is there anything we can do to change your mind? It's just, they're just ripping for now. Look, I brought you something. Soft ripping stops. It's a picture of your family back before. Back when your name was John Beck. Back when your name was John. Back before you were declassed, do you remember? Silence. You had a wife, 2 sons, a little baby girl. Silence. Softly. Do you remember, John? Don't get too close to the... it's alright. I think you might be starting to remember. John, do you remember? Silence. Softly. John? Wait, softly. John. This is your cracking. What the... Shattering glass. Shit, he's... Screaming. Rapid, repeated wet puncturing. Warren, gurgling, subject, laughter. That's creepy. Gunfire and log. So is he a D-class that got terminated and now is back? Oh no. That is not okay. Immortal D-classes that came back from hell to haunt the Foundation. During the interview, A5 inflicted an open compound fracture on its left arm, used the protruding tip of its radio bone to damage the glass wall, then proceeded to use this bone to fatally stab Dr. Warren numerous times in his eyes and face. Jesus Christ! And then we have memos. Date 1978, 2nd, 19th. From Dr. Jennings to Dr. Brenwick. As per your request, I finished my 6-month evaluation of the 5 instances we have in custody. Before I came here, I worked as a prison shrink. Every person you met had a story bursting with pain and sorrow. Sometimes those stories were about the pain they suffered, sometimes it was about the pain they inflicted. Some days you felt like everyone there was a beautiful soul torn down by the circumstances. Other days you find out what some of them did, and part of you was glad they were there to suffer for it. But at the end of every day, I always told myself, they're all humans, they're all people. They all deserve the same dignity, respect, and love as everyone else. No exceptions. Jeremiah, I opened up with the anecdote only so you could understand that what I'm about to say is not said lightly. These things are not people. They're people-shaped monsters. They're well beyond any definition of psychopathy. Everything they do to hurt, maim, and kill. I would pity them, but that would imply that they were worth pitying. Put them in a hole, they fill a hole with concrete, but still throw them back into the incinerator where we found them. I doubt they even care. Dr. Jenny, that is, that is, He's basically saying like, hey, every single person is a human being and deserves a chance to be cared for and loved for and listened to. But these skeletons, these regenerative people, all they think about is how to kill you. Nothing else. They don't care about anything else. They just want you dead. They want everything dead. They have 682's fucking drive of hatred. Okay, addendum history. Then we have speech log, audio log, 1961. So we're back in time again, because this was 1978. 5th, 9th, Dr. West. The following log is a recording of an orientation speech given by Dr. West to new researchers arriving at Unit B. Begin log. Now, are any of you religious men? Yes? No? Good. Good. Nothing against God. Well, what I'm about to tell you, it doesn't always go over well with men of faith. Pause, shuffling papers. Alright then. As I'm sure you're aware, Unit B is responsible for handling the arriving D-class remains. to determine whether or not they're anomalous. And they perform a little, shall we say, pre-processing before they send to Unit A or Unit C. It's that bit we're going to be discussing today. Slide, please. Clicking. Now I'm sure all of you clicking. Pardon, the slide isn't clicking. There we go. Now I'm sure all of you are familiar with the human brain, yes? Here it is. I'm sure you're also familiar with how much of a daunting challenge the human brain poses to the Foundation. Clicking to control it, we use amnestics, but amnestics are hard. Nobody's quite sure where they come from, but we are well aware that they come at a significant cost. On top of that, they're not very good. Kind of like using a hammer to remove a splinter. Brief laughter, clicking. What if I told you there is an alternative? A form of amnestics that's been right under our noses all along. Cheaper, safer, very few negative side effects, and significantly more precise. Oh, that's already I don't like that. That already makes me feel like that this person's at fault for all this. Clicking, murmuring. I hope the graphic nature of this image is not too disturbing. But we're all scientists here. Clicking. It turns out that the human brain, so long as it's relatively well preserved, leaves behind. There's a certain residue that it leaves behind. Okay. No, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at it either. Something we can extract and refine. Clicking. This residue can be boiled from the mind of a sufficiently fresh cadaver. Think of it as a distillation of memories, of our happiest experiences, all the parts of a human life that brings us comfort when we need it most. That makes us gentle and kind. Clicking. Here you see what's left behind. The process of boiling is critical, otherwise you will end up extracting all of this useless crud along with it. Clicking. Now we can combine and homogenize all of these purified distillations together to create a compound that, when properly processed and combined with targeted hypnotherapy, clicking, allows for the removal of precise memories, specific memories. We replace them with this happy soup, if you will, and the minds use that soup to build new pleasant false memories, filling in the gaps. Clicking. The end result being that even in death, D-Class continues to help us. Help the world. And here's how it all went wrong. Now I know you all have many questions, I'll be happy to take them one at a time. He basically was like saying, like, what if we just recycle our D classes that they can, like, you know, be useful even once we terminate them, or once they die. Like, we can just use them again. And guess what, motherfucker? It did not go well. Memo 064 log. Date 1974. Is that who? Is that? Okay, so Dr. West. From Dr. West to Dr. Hammond. Jim, I have nothing but respect for you as a researcher, as a co-worker, and as a friend. But please understand where I'm coming from when I tell you to go fuck yourself. Your insistence on trying to go over my head with this is getting tedious. The process doesn't turn corpses anomalous. The incident last month was a fluke. Terry clearly failed to identify an anomalous cadaver before he started the distillation process. He was sloppy. May he rest in peace. That's all. Oh my god, so they actually had a case where shit went wrong, but he was like, nah, that was just a one-time thing. Everyone's too scared to tell this to your face, so I'll just come right out and say it. Ever since you found religion last year, you become increasingly unbearable to work with. And even if you're somehow right, so what? They're dead, Jim. We got enough problems here on Earth without having to worry about whether or not we left a pile of ashes with sufficiently happy thoughts. I'm putting in for you to be transferred to another site. I highly suggest you don't fight it, Dr. West. And you should have listened to Jim. I hope, like, well, I wish there was it was like a update from, it was like okay, Jim, I was fucking wrong. From Dr. Hammond to Dr. You've always been very kind. Thank you for that. Yesterday I processed the body of D63175. He was sentenced to death for the murder of his wife. I bowled away the 6 hours he spent holding his sister's hand as she lay dying in the hospital bed. I bowled away the swell of pride he felt when his son took his first few steps. I bowled away all the kindness his mother ever showed him, until all that remained was her cruelty and abuse. I took away every moment of joy, and left behind a life of uninterrupted misery, pain, and rage. Do you know why the Foundation takes D-class personnel from criminal populations, Sean? It's because nobody stops us. Nobody cares. A prison's where you put unimportant people. It's where you shave down whatever is left of their humanity until the monster you imagine them to be is all that remains. But no matter how hard we tried, there was always a sliver of decency left behind. Some piece of them we couldn't quite reach. Until now, we've done it. In death, D263175 is finally the monster people imagined. I burned away every last trace of his humanity. Now I'm going to send his corpse to UNC and burn away the rest. I pray to God that that's what left will burn. I can't stay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I recommend you get out while you still can. Dr. Hammond. Okay, who's at fault here then? Is it Dr. Hammond or is it Dr. West? But this is really interesting because it gives you perspective of like how the Foundation views the D-class, right? Because a lot of times we see the Foundation treat the D-class like shit. They're like, yeah, the high-end criminals, they have a life sentence and we're taking them so nobody cares about them. Which he says, yeah, nobody cares, you know? Nobody, the reason why we can have D-class is because nobody cares. They're not important people. But there were SCP stories where either A, the D-class was actually treated fairly, or B, the D-class was treated nicely. Which shows you like, yeah, sometimes the researchers are aware like, hey, they're still humans. We should not treat them like some sort of cannon fodder that we just have to get rid of, you know? But yeah, like Dr. West is like saying like, yeah, don't care about them. They're dead. They're criminals. Who cares? But now you have one new email. Operator Richard Maddox to Site Director Browning, Unity Incinerators. Those fancy steel hatches of yours aren't going to cut it. Look, I'm getting a little tired of playing Cassandra here, but the situation doesn't look good. These things barely missed hitting critical mass back when we switched from oil burners to fuel gas. All it's going to take is a technician making a mistake, or a burner falling for a little too long. Yes, the incinerator have massive pits. Yes, if you get it hot enough, human fat will burn and do half the work for you. But none of that will matter if enough meat grows back to stuff the entire stack. Once that happens, the flue gas won't be able to get out. And good luck keeping those burners running without any room for oxygen. We lose all 6 incinerators just like that. And when that happens, they'll come back. All of them. I checked the incineration logs. Incinerator 5 alone has incinerated over 3,000 D-class corpses. Combined, we're looking at 10,000 of these things easy. All with generators. All with every happy memory boiled away. All with 20 years worth of new memories, primarily consisting of us burning them alive. I've been working for the Foundation for over 15 years. I watched a lot of D-class die in horrible ways, so I think I know a little bit about what it sounds like when someone's screaming with fear and pain. The things in SB2419 aren't screaming with fear or pain, Brian. They're not screaming at all. They're laughing. That is fucking terrifying. They're being burned, technically alive, constantly being burned, and they just want to come out of that furnace to kill you, and they're laughing while at it. They're not screaming in pain or fear. They're laughing. They lost probably all sense of humanity. This is genuinely terrifying. The author was, I want to say that again, the Great Hippo. Great Hippo? Awesome. This is such a terrifying idea. D-class that got incinerated somehow came back inside the incinerator and now can regenerate. They want you dead. They will burn for all eternity for what they care, as long as they make progress to killing you eventually, and laughing while doing so. Regenerate. As long as they get to kill you eventually, yeah. No, that was really good. That was really good, I gotta say. Wow. Not only was it good, it's just terrifying, and to think like how many D classes they terminated and incinerated in those things, and now they're all coming back with absolutely zero humanity left. Just a drive to come out there and want to kill you, and the idea of like being burned alive, but instead of screaming in pain, they're just laughing. That is not okay. I am uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable. I gotta go down and get some more water in my MacBook, so that I'm gonna be terrified. Good job, good job, Hippo. You did it. You gonna make me shit my pants. But hey, we have reached the end of today's stream. This was really good. There was a lot of good. I think almost every single one of them was actually really, really well done. Yeah, I don't think any of them was anything like. Yeah, no, I think all of them were really good. Gotta say. What a good reading today was. Well, time for me to head to bed because we have more to read tomorrow with the 2420s, the 420s of the 2000s. So I'm excited to see what that has all going on for us. For now though, Daff was with you, wishes you all a good morning, afternoon, evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Ciao.